Welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. The show where community comes first, leadership is amplified, and impact is the expectation, not the exception. Covering 12 thriving municipalities across Collin County, we spotlight the professionals, creatives, nonprofit leaders, and bold connectors who are shaping the future of North Texas. From McKinney to Melissa, from Plano to Prosper, from Frisco to Fairview. Each episode dives into the issues that matter most to our local business and civic communities. From leadership and entrepreneurship to education, economic growth, service, innovation, and the power of collaboration. If it impacts how we live, lead, or grow in Collin County, we talk about it. The Community Difference is powered by the Business Development Alliance and made possible by the Difference Media LLC. With a trusted team of co-hosts who live, work, and lead in the communities we serve, this show is built on collaboration and powered by people who mesh. Now, getting today's conversation started, your host, Brian Poduska.
Well, that is me, and good morning, Collin County. Welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. We are a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. As you heard, I'm your host, Brian Poduska, the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments right here in Collin County. I am located and based out of Frisco, resident of Frisco, and have been a resident of Collin County for 13 years. If you've seen the show before, you know what we're about, but basically we are putting the spotlight on 5 different types of leaders within the community. Those would be business owners, entrepreneurs, political leaders, ISD leadership. So we're going to hear specifically from those folks today. I'm excited about that. Nonprofit leaders, and then sports leaders. We are Sports City, USA here in Frisco, and sports are a big deal up here in North Texas and the DFW area. If you've seen the show, you know this as well, but we do have rotating business features of the month. The past few months, we've spotlighted, local chambers of commerce, economic development corporations, EDCs, financing experts when it comes to business financing options. We spent a couple months with political leaders. So we've had mayors and city council members across Collin County discussing servant leadership. Last month, we featured Collin County first responders, both here on the podcast and in the Business Development Alliance live meeting at the NAC Theater every month. This month, we are going to be diving into the school districts and their importance in the communities, how small businesses can best engage with them and support their agendas. As we heard from the first responders last month, 2 of the big pillars within any community, and of course the value of real estate, speaking from real estate terms, are public safety and education, right? So that's what we're diving into, the education piece of that this month. So again, if you've seen the show, you know this, but if you haven't, in addition to rotating business topics, we have rotating co-hosts. So without further ado, let's bring them in one by one. Our first co-host, Miss Kim Wallace, is an insurance agency owner who once rode show horses with confidence, yet still called her husband to report a TV issue with the infrared signal. Bless her heart, she brings a perfect mix of humor, grit, and real-world know-how. When it comes to understanding how strong school districts shape strong communities and how businesses can saddle up and get involved, Kim's the one you want leading the ride. Let's bring her in and say hello to Kim.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Kim. Good to see you. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. Ready for the holiday.
Yeah, it's here. It happened pretty quick, right? Thanksgiving was here and gone before we knew it, and Christmas is right around the corner, and the weather is frightful outside, at least in North Texas. It's a little chilly, and it's not as frightful as some of the other video I've seen out there, but yeah, 'tis the season for sure.
Yep, my little one wants to go drive in the community every night to go look at Christmas lights with the windows down, so there's a lot of blankets involved.
Yeah, well, it's that time of year, and a lot of great public displays too. We may talk about that a little bit in the What's Cooking segment, but great to see you back and look forward to diving into the topic with you today. All right, let's bring in our second co-host who knows how to spark a community, whether she was leading a teen band that opened for Reba McEntire at a goat cook-off. Yeah, that's a real thing. or now shaping young minds as the owner and education director of Abracadoodle. Debbie Watson brings the kind of creativity and connection that mirrors exactly what strong school districts do for a community: ignite potential, strengthen partnerships, and open doors. She's here to show us how small businesses can plug into that ecosystem and help our schools and our cities thrive together. Let's say hello to Debbie Watson.
Hello. Good morning, almost afternoon.
Yeah, good morning. Happy lunch hour to you, I guess. How are you?
Yes.
Well, good. Hopefully, you're enjoying the holidays and getting prepped for Christmas here.
I am. I always have a holiday shirt on, so.
Well, I love it, and 'tis the season, and it's an exciting topic that we're going to talk about here. As we get into, it'll be their break coming up, and
Right.
the school district's break, but certainly an important pillar in our community, whether we're talking about the counties or our cities within Collin County. Like I said, real estate value is 100% tied to the quality of school districts within a community. So let's enough talk about them. Let's go ahead and bring them in. So our first guest, this is great. Our first guest may claim he used to think he could sing, but when the superintendent of Melissa ISD forgets every word of a Billy Ocean love song at his own wedding, well, that's the kind of humility and heart that makes a community lean in. Mr. Keith Murphy leads with vision, laughter, and a deep love for Melissa's schools, families, and city partners. He's here to show us why strong school districts are the backbone of thriving communities and how small businesses can jump in, lift up, and grow right alongside them. Let's say hello to Mr. Murphy and team. And you are muted, Mr. Murphy.
Was working
We have
early.
a lot of broadcasts in case you haven't seen the show before. So you were going to have little technical hiccups here. Welcome to the Melissa team. Tell us who you have there.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you
Yep.
loud and clear.
Awesome. I've got Kim Bodeker. She's the deputy superintendent. She's been here for a long time. And then Lisa Lake is my administrative assistant. They know the community and schools really well, and they love kids just like I did. So they're pretty sharp. So I thought I'd have them on with me. I appreciate the introduction too. I forgot I talked about being able to sing.
Well, number one, you're just the pretty face of the organization. You brought the doers on along with you, I see. So thanks for bringing the team. And yes, we do talk about singing, and we have had folks actually do some singing on the show before.
This
Pretty
is your
impressive.
moment, Keith.
Yeah.
The story is that's the last time I sang at my wedding, and my wife laughed instead of cried. So I forgot the words and it was over. So I can't do that public. I can do it at home, but not in public, especially not on a podcast.
Well, we love the boldness of trying it. That's half the battle right there. All right. Well, I see we have on our screen already our second guest, so let's give her a quick intro here. Our second guest brings California sunshine, a double-jointed thumb, and the bold belief that barbecue sauce really does improve everything, which honestly might be the most Texan thing about her. Brittany Winn is an educator at Leadership Prep School right here in Frisco, who's just as comfortable singing karaoke on a cruise. See the theme here? As she is shaping young minds with purpose and intention. She's here to help us explore how schools fuel community growth and why small businesses who plug in, support, and partner with them can create opportunities that reach far beyond the classroom. How are you doing, Miss Winn?
I'm doing good. I'm still getting used to this cold weather because being from California. So I'm liking the cold weather, but it definitely makes like me want to go to winter break for sure.
Well, I hear that, and I like your sweater. It has a nice cold theme to it. There you go.
It's ugly sweater day at our campus.
I don't know if I would call that ugly, but I love it. So you sang karaoke on a cruise ship. One of the questions that we oftentimes ask as an icebreaker on the show is, karaoke gun to your head, what is your go-to karaoke song?
I like country songs.
Okay. Well, you're in the right spot for it now.
But I also like to just have fun. So like YMCA is a good one. Or Mine would be You from Blake Shelton with my husband. So
Okay. I like it. Well, we won't make you sing those on the show today, but we'll know that to cue those up if we're ever in a karaoke off.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We're excited to dive into this topic, getting into the school districts and what that means to our communities and how business owners like ourselves and all of our listeners can get involved and really grow connections that way to better their community and their business. So with that, we're going to take our first commercial break. We're going to come out of that and we're going to talk about what's cooking in Collin County. So stick around.
The Community Difference, Collin County, is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Debbie Watson with Abracadoodle, Kim Wallace with Farmers Insurance, Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Clarence Joriff with the Compound Nevada, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love Travel. The Community Difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Cooking in Collin County?
All right, welcome back. You heard it in the sounder there. This is a segment we talk about what's going on around Collin County, what's cooking in Collin County. So with that, I'm going to allow our guests to go first. I think they have a few things that they want to highlight in their communities, in their school districts. So let's go ladies first. Miss Winn, why don't you kick us off on what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I think I'm getting maybe the ricochet. Can you guys hear me
feedback.
okay?
I think, yeah, you're good now.
So our school is a leadership prep school, leadership. And so we do a Leader in Me, and we practice the 7 habits or 8 habits because we can woven in that 8th habit here. And so our Lighthouse team, which is student run, has put on a fundraiser, which is exciting. And it is a donation drive for the Frisco Family Services. And so we are asking for any canned foods, dish detergent, laundry detergent, any of those like boxed mac and cheese, pasta, disinfectant spray and wipes. And so just something to highlight for one, like our leadership on our school and our Lighthouse team, but also to help out our community with the Frisco Family Services, which we actually took a field trip to last year and had our kids actually help like boxing up all of the things in order to take out to the community. So we really like to partner with them and bring in that leadership within our school community.
Love that. Yeah, Frisco Family Services, great organization. I won't go into all the details, but as part of the Leadership Frisco program, you go out for Social Services Day and you meet at the Frisco Family Services. You see the grocery offerings that they have. You see the resale shop and all the other programs that they offer. So I love that you're integrating that with your kids at a young age. So love to hear that. That's an awesome program. All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Murphy, I'm going to move it over to you and allow you to speak about whatever's going on in Melissa.
Well, we've got a fabulous night ahead of us. I'm glad we got to speak today, but it's called Hearts for the Arts. And we're going to celebrate little artists from our elementary, middle school, high school, all the way across. We're going to do it at Symmetry Plaza, which is a plaza that we built when working with one of our vendors. So they supported us in our partnership in doing that. But it's a fabulous evening. We're going to have tons of vendors out there. There are local food trucks and different vendors that are going to be out. But it's really cool because we get to celebrate the artists in our kids, and the high school kids get to work with the little bitties. And then we also have little bitty skits that are going to be done by our theater program. It's really a collaboration between all. But for me, the greatest joy is it's a celebration for our community. We're going to have parents, grandparents, and everybody from all walks of life come out. Another great thing we have, and I'll just be brief, but we've got a football game, state semifinals against South Oak Cliff. But, we play a lot of our ball games in Cardinal Stadium. And what I want to say about that is, everybody talks about Friday night lights in football. It's not about that. The events that we put on in public schools and the stadium that we built was for our community. It's really a great community hub. We're all excited. Last week was a big emotional ball game against Argyle. There were so many people hugging the stands, but what I watched was the cheerleaders come out. I watched the band perform. I watched our football kids work with our coaches. But I saw people from our community come and they get refreshments. Grandmother gets to be there with grandpa and the grandbabies. And if you cuss, we throw you out. You can't be drinking alcohol. It's just wholesome environment. And so our schools kind of bring that. And I'm grateful to be a part of that. So it's a big time to be in Melissa right now in schools.
Love that. Yeah. And you guys have the nice new stadium that you built. Love the fact that you called out the fact that it incorporates a community, because you're absolutely right. You think about some of the other, what some of those stadiums have done for other communities. You guys are doing that as well. And I love hearing that. And Melissa, and like I said, sports is we're sports nerds on the show. And we have been for years. So I love the fact that you guys are still in the hunt for the state championship, and best of luck to Melissa.
Thank you, brother.
For sure. All right, let's shift over to the ladies. Kim, why don't you go first? What's cooking in Collin County? Keep it going.
Yeah, we always try to support the NAC Theater because that's where we do our monthly BDA panel that we'll have week after next. On December 14th, Sunday at 6 p.m., they're going to be having a holiday concert. So if you want something fun for the family that you can take out, here's some Christmas music. They have that going on. You want to stick to something more adult friendly. On December 20th, they will have the Show Pony Holiday Spectacular, which is a live burlesque show with Christmas music. So that would be interesting. If you want something, whether it be kid friendly or adult friendly, they've got you covered.
Love it. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. To check that one out. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Kim. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love for NAC Theater. And Debbie, I'm going to shift it over to you. What do you got? What's cooking in Collin County?
Yeah, so a lot of you can find a lot of your towns that have the downtown. They're going to have tons of events, Salina and everything. But one that's coming up this Saturday is actually in McKinney. And we know McKinney has a great downtown. It's called 12 Wines of Christmas Wine Walk. So it'll be wine tasting in multiple shops. So a great time to go out with friends, family, girlfriends, go shopping and get your Christmas shopping done, but also stop and taste different wines. And then on the 21st, Home for the Holidays, the Plano Symphony will be at the Robinson Fine Arts Center. So that is always, a great show. And then last, also in Melissa, there is a Parks and Rec cornhole tournament. So that'll be Saturday the 13th at 10 a.m. at the Z-Plex tennis courts. So another fun activity to come out and actually in your community and do some cornhole. So that's all I have.
All right. Love it. Thank you so much, Debbie. And then I will wrap us up here. So I'm going to talk about really quickly a couple things going on in Frisco. If you've driven by downtown Frisco, the newer section of it, you know that there's always a holiday light experience going on. So anytime between 6 and 10 p.m. every night through January 3rd. Here's the key element of that. Everybody's seen it, but it's synchronized to music. So, and I've always missed this, so I want to point this out here on the show. Tune into 107.3 FM to hear that coordinated music with the lights. Also, just keeping the theme of the Rail District downtown Frisco, every vendor out there has a holiday display. You can vote for them online. Definitely check that out. Go visit the Rail District, support those businesses. And then finally, on the sports theme, right? There's 2 bowls coming to the city of Frisco this year. The Xbox Bowl, these are both going to be at the Star this year since Toyota Stadium is under construction, or renovation, I should say. At the Star is the Xbox Bowl on December 18th, 8 p.m. And then we've got the Frisco Bowl, which is the 23rd. And I got to get this up on my screen. It's the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. It's a Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Again, they're moving it from the Toyota Stadium to the Ford Center at the Star. That's 8 p.m. kickoff on Tuesday, December 23rd. All right, so that's what we got going on in sports here in Frisco over the holidays. Also want to talk, finally, last point here is about, it's in downtown Frisco, so same theme, but it's our Business Development Alliance, the BDA. We've talked about this before. Hopefully you've been to it before, but this is an in-person monthly meeting. So we have networking on the front end of it, and then we have a panel discussion kind of in the middle or heart of it. And the idea here is we're putting spotlights and really teasing out learning experience and a connection building experience with those business topics that I've highlighted here earlier in the show, right? So chambers of commerce, EDC, mayors, city council members, first responders, bankers, ISD leadership. So all of those things, we do those on a monthly basis. So what you see on the show here integrates with those live in-person events. They're free to attend. They are monthly at the NAC Theater. They're typically on the fourth Wednesday of every month. This month and last month, because of the holidays, we've moved it up to the third Wednesday of every month. So, those 2 months, December 17th. So that's next Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Scan that QR code to sign up for it. There is lunch available from Elaine's, which is right down the street in the rail district. Come on out. You see all the school districts there in Collin County. Learn about your ISD, learn about how you can get involved, and learn about how it helps our communities as well as your business connections, and grow from there. So we'd love to see you next Wednesday, December 17th, 11:30 to 1 p.m. at the NAC Theater. All right, with that, that's a lot going on. It's cooking in Collin County. It may be winter, but we're cooking. So with that, we're going to take a deep breath, exhale, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about and dive into the topic of the month. So stick around. We will be right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now, back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. And this is a segment where we're going to dive into the business topic, right? And this is really a community topic. I don't want to call it a business topic. It's really getting into the depth of, how these school districts and these leaders can elevate their school district, how it elevates their community, and really how we as business owners can help elevate with them, right? How do we partner with them and how do we get involved with them? So, like I mentioned, we've had, servant leaders in the past on the show and in the panel with the BDA. We're focusing on school districts here. And in a way, this is almost servant leadership. Yes, you guys get paid to lead the youth of our country and our area here. But we all know that it's a very thankless job, unfortunately. It's a tough job. It is one of the most important jobs and duties that we have in our community. So first of all, I thank you guys for doing that and for leading the charge with our youth. because it is at times thankless, I want to know what your why is. What drove you into school district and teaching our youth? So, Mr. Murphy, let's start with you guys and Melissa. What got you down this path? I think I saw in your bio that you have 33 years in the education realm across and it sounds like you come from an education family as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
And you are on mute. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Good. Yeah, 33 years is a long time. My family was, I believe, in public school. It's just that simple. I believe that I was called to do it. I believe that a lot of people in our industry are called to do what they do. And I think that we have an opportunity to make a huge impact in while we're doing it. And I was talking the other day to our staff about Melissa and local schools in Collin County and how blessed we are to have such great school systems around here. But, I was just thinking that I'm not the president of the United States. I'm not the governor. I'm not a senator or anything, but I've given my life to the students in public schools, and we work with a passion and we love them. And so, yes, it's just Melissa, or it's just Frisco, or it's just McKinney, or just Van Alst, just little bitty school districts, but they mean the world. It's my life. It means everything to me. And so supporting our kids, and, the neatest thing about public schools is that we should, and we have the opportunity to bring communities together. And that's one thing that the world, I think, is missing today, is that real sense of community. We've gotten so busy, and I think it's really neat to watch us come together and focus on the success of our kids. I know the people in Melissa love kids just like I do. Our staff loves kids. Our parents love kids. We all have high expectations, and it's really phenomenal to see what happens when we come together. And, I've got to say, everybody talks about tax rates and this, that, and the other. Listen, we've got our tax rate maxed out in Melissa. And it's still not enough money. So you want to talk about the importance of partnerships? We wouldn't survive without the partnerships. Our baseball, softball field and complex was built in conjunction with DBAT, with the LLC that was set out there. We've got a baseball. We couldn't afford parking lots. We couldn't afford restrooms. And so those partnerships are vital. Our relationship with schools in our cities and the way that we work together. And I've been around and watched places where the city and the school board and the city council didn't really get along. And Melissa, we really take pride and work hard at that. And I think we're successful because of that. But I can't, and when you were talking about taxes, when you go out and you buy alcohol or cigarettes or a vape or you go buy a loaf of bread, nobody questions you on how much taxes. That's not negotiated. We plead for our personal income taxes. We hope that we pay enough so that we don't get in trouble, but yet we're going to negotiate a tax rate on the back of our kids. And to me, that just seems they in our local communities make those decisions. And I love Melissa because we love our kids. And I love Melissa because even though we're growing, we try to keep that sense of community.
I love that. And it's a great point you bring up about, the taxes not being enough to fund all the growth that we have in North Texas, right? So it's not a Melissa specific problem, but it is a problem. And that I love the fact that you brought up the businesses that have sponsored and partnered with you to help you build your facilities, help you probably get equipment for those teams and things like that just aren't supported in the current tax budget. So great point. Love hearing that. Let's same question to you, Winn. A little bit different angle because it's not an ISD per se, but number one, what drove you? What's your why? What drove you into serving the youth of our country, and whether it be in California or here in Texas? So let's start there.
So I think the biggest drive was when I was a student, I loved school. I just loved learning, and I wanted to really just inspire people around me to love learning. I never wanted to be absent. I had pretty much 100% perfect attendance because I loved going to school, and I didn't understand why other people didn't. And I think I've always been a half full type person. And so really trying to motivate and, create those partnerships with families, students, teachers, and just kind of figure out their why and how do you motivate? How do you build and inspire our motto for our school is to inspire students to learn, grow, and lead for a lifetime. And I embody that wholeheartedly, because I really do want these students to be lifelong learners. And that's how they become successful in life, right? Is if they love learning and they're curious and they're passionate, then they can do whatever they want to do, and they're going to be our next generation. And so we really want to inspire and empower those people to make the greatest impact that they can. And that's kind of my why. The reason why I chose this school, I was actually in California. My husband got relocated. We are one of those families that came from California to Texas.
We won't hold that against you.
I fell in love with Texas, but I was actually looking at schools around where one of my best guy friends, who is actually the godfather of my son, he lives around here. And so I kind of looked in the 5-mile radius, and I started to look, and honestly, I fell upon this school and their values, their core values, their motto, and just all about them, and that they're a leadership, prep school, a leader in me school. And I was like, that is the school I need to be working at. I emailed the school right away, and I was like, let's set up an interview. I have to be a part of this mission. And that really drove me. I've worked in public schools. I've worked in public charter schools, and something about a charter school just lights you on fire. You are driven by data. You have very passionate teachers, and you get that everywhere too, but that's been my experience. And so I really wanted to find something along the same lines of what I really believed in. And our school, which I love, does have servant leaders as well. You were talking about servant leaders and serving the community with those high expectations. I was kind of writing down some of those things. And our school, I think, does a really great job about promoting leadership, for one, with the habits, but also we have students doing service hours, and that's from kindergarten to high school, because we are kinder to high school. We have 3 different schools, 2 elementary and 1 secondary. And in elementary, they're just serving 4 hours every semester, and that's helping their community, picking up trash, going to, the feeding the homeless, or packing food. And so it's only 4 hours, but man, you see what a huge difference and impact you can make as a kindergartner, impacting your community. And you're really just not only promoting academics, but you're promoting that child. And I just fell in love with that mission. And so that's why I wanted to, for one, be an educator, but 2, be at my school where I am now. And now I'm actually the assistant principal this year at this new school. And being able to inspire about 85% to 90% new families and staff members has been pretty remarkable. So yeah.
Love that. Awesome. Thank you. Debbie, I think you've got a question.
And I think, just to kind of piggyback off of both what you both have said, and your passion for the kids and the community, if someone was listening today and wanted to take the first step to partner with your schools, what's the best way to start? So I know there's so many different programs, but if one thing, if someone out there today says, oh man, I live in Melissa, how can I get involved? Or, hey, I'm in Frisco, I would love to learn more and how I could help your schools. So Mr. Murphy, if you want to share it first, and then I'll go back to Ms. Winn.
It's easy, just reach out. We change the world one conversation at a time. There's always opportunities. Reach out to a principal, myself. Just reach out, and we'll try to find a way to utilize your gifts and talents. And that's what we really try to do, is blend talents. And, we really, Ms. Winn, myself, this whole thing is about kids and giving them a world-class experience. And I want you to know, in Collin County, we have the opportunity, and I'm not talking about Melissa, I'm talking about in Collin County, with the families that we have, the resources we have, there's no reason why we can't give our kids a world-class experience. And I'm not talking about in the state of Texas, Louisiana, Florida. I'm talking about everywhere. We are so very blessed to be here. And it is absolutely amazing what happens when we work together, work toward, later on, we're going to ask about a philosophy. Let's work towards well-defined desired outcomes. Let us know the desires of your heart, and let's find a way to plug in. Let's blend our talents together and our efforts. And I can't, when we model that behavior for our kids, working together, when we can show a little bit of vulnerability, compassion, grace, and love, what a great model that we show for our kids. And talking about service, yes, let's teach our kids. And Melissa, we're all about servant leadership. One of the questions you asked me is philosophy or advice. The question I ask is real simple. We get down to all kinds of people in the world and they say different things. Are you selfish or are you selfless? And in public schools and when you're dealing with our children, we have to be selfless people. And there are groups out there that are trying to villainize us as educators. Society, we have problems. Parents and families have problems. And we don't need to work on the division part. We need to work on the healing part. One of the things that's important, you want to come to work for me or be a part of our organization or be a good role model for kids. How about let's model in kindness? We missed that part. And so she talked about values. And Melissa, we're very proud of our values. Integrity is the ability to last over time. And the only way that happens is if you do things with fidelity. And that is, do you say what you're going to do and do you do it? Those don't veer off. They're not contrast. The next thing is that hope, hashtag there's a better tomorrow. We've got to believe that everywhere. And we believe that in Melissa. We talk about in our public school, in Melissa, in our school system, you want to talk about values? We talk about being loyal. And when I say loyal, not to me as the superintendent or to any administrator, but loyal to the concept that we're going to absolutely tease out, vet out, and hammer out what's in the best interest of our children. And you know what? When you go home and you got a mom and dad working, it's very hard as a family to figure out what's best for your family. Two parents. You get out and you have 1,200 employees or 8,500 kids or even bigger. It doesn't matter. When you step, those dynamics are very difficult. It seems like it would be easy to do what's best for kids. The only way you really do that is you come to consensus when you sit down at the table and you visit. So if you want to help, sit down and join the conversation with us. We work towards well-defined desired outcomes. We want the very best for kids. We get nothing in our service to doing anything to kids. We do things for kids and for families, and we're blessed to do it. The people that work in our business are salt of the earth, that we're not working to make money. We're not banks. We don't live on an interest rate. What we get, the rewards we get are smiles on the face and the success of our children. That's what we take pride in.
Awesome. Ms. Winn, what about leadership prep?
Yeah, I believe the question was, how can you best connect with us, right?
Right,
so,
right.
I mean, just emailing us. Our website is lpsfrisco.com. And so if you email, any one of us, it could be, the Teal campus, Majestic Gardens campus, or secondary campus. Either one, you can contact or email us. I know the secondary has a lot of different options about coming in and sharing leadership information because they have a lot of different opportunities that they bring for the students. And so, either one would be, you can email any one of us. We even actually had 2 students the other day write me a whole letter about how they wanted to start a toy drive. And we didn't have time to do it right now because we're doing our canned food drive, but we are going to start that in January. So, I mean, I think the students and the families know that we're pretty approachable. We're open to things, and it's definitely, students first. So we're excited to partner with the community.
Love that.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to jump in real quick because we do have one more commercial break that we need to fit in, give our sponsors some love. We're going to continue this conversation on the back end and get into, keep going into some of the other ways that we as business owners can get involved with the school district. So stick around. We will be right back.
Greatness doesn't happen in isolation. Behind every impactful community, there's a coalition. Behind every story we spotlight, there are partners who believe in what collaboration, leadership, and local excellence can build. Special thanks to our community champions. Pine Meadow Golf, custom-built golf clubs, factory direct to you. King's Camo and Sportsman's Warehouse, for those who train hard and live wild. Jocko Fuel, hard work, clean fuel. No excuses. Riker Home Services, your trusted partner for expert repairs and lasting peace of mind. These partners help power the community difference. Collin County, where business, community, and leadership intersect. To learn more and support those who support us, visit our website at thecommunitydifference.com and click on our partners page. And now back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. We have been discussing the with leaders here across the Collin County area within the school districts, the ISDs, how important they are to the communities. We've seen tremendous growth over the last 15, 20 years up here in North Texas, specifically here in Collin County. A major driver of that growth is the wonderful education system throughout all of our communities. And, that's part of what we're diving into here. So with that, Kim, I'm going to hand it over to you. You can ask the next question of our guests here.
Absolutely. I know with Leadership Prep being a newer school that they've really been working on different sponsorships, different donations, things like that. They're taking book donations to help build their library. I even did their car tags to help support the school, anything like that. I am sure Melissa does stuff like that too, but tell us about either different donations you need for the school, the students. I know we always try to do a backpack drive at the beginning of the year or a coat drive around this time for kids who maybe need it. But whether it be a sponsorship for magnets or school supplies or just straight up donations that you think the school might need that we can put out in the community for you guys. What do you need for your teachers, your students, the families that you're supporting? Kim, you want to go first? I see Keith got kicked out. Is it Kim that moved up?
Yes, sorry. Yes. So one of the things that we do, like we talk about supporting our teachers, Mr. Murphy mentioned, they're the salt of the earth. And we talk about, we want to give them everything we can. One of the sponsorships we have at the beginning of the year is to donate to our Teachers of the Year. Our community, our local communities donate to that to make sure that our Chamber of Commerce is huge on making that. They are the big sponsor for tonight. That's really taken on our hearts for the arts. And so anytime you can just partner and get involved in the community, like with tonight and all that. So it's like Mr. Murphy said, it's the individual. What do you want to bring? What is the heart of your business? And how can we do that through our schools?
Okay. Ms. Winn, what does your school need or sponsorships that are available to help raise money for the school?
I feel like we have a lot of parents involved that are trying to start different organizations. We had one that had like a music drive to help supply our music department. I know we had the same thing with our PE, same thing with our book donations, the library. I'm trying to think of specifics. Supplies always, since we have supplies we supply everything for our students. We don't require them to bring backpacks or pencils or anything like that. So, any supplies that for students would always be greatly appreciative, as well as our staff too, like paper thing. I know that sounds simple, but I know there's like paper drives and things like that we were thinking about doing. So just, simple supplies would be beneficial. I'm trying to think of anything specific, but I know that
the PTA really tries to help partner with local restaurants they actually have food catered in for the kids every week. We actually get to pick from a menu, and I think that's pretty cool. But the profits from the PTA actually go back to the school as well to help buy things.
Yeah, absolutely. But even like what you mentioned, even partnering with those restaurants and things could, for one, get their name out there, but also help us in return. So yeah, if you even do have a small business, that's something that we can partner with too. We also do the newsletters every week. And so we do try to put some of those flyers and things like that inside our newsletters to help promote those. So even that would be beneficial, but just kind of like what you think, Kim, we're talking about, if your business has a drive or desire, we will work with you and we will try to get your name out, but also help partner with you to make this community even better.
Perfect.
Love it. I've got a question on the partnership theme, right? So, Kim, you mentioned you guys are tightly wound and hand in hand with the Chamber of Commerce. They're helping support your fundraising event. I know that's a case specifically here in Frisco as well. And I believe that's a case across most of the Collin County communities. You guys have a what I'll call a brand new football stadium. It's not brand new, but I know it's relatively new. You guys have, I'm sure, partnered with, and I'm curious from my perspective too, because Frisco has, they play the high school teams all get a rotation to play in the Star, the Ford Center at the Star. That whole thing came about because of a public-private ISD partnership, right? So the ISD got very involved. They could have built their own stadium. They got involved with the city hand in hand, the ISD, the city, the Chamber of Commerce, the public-private partnership to help make that happen. Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys, I know I heard you guys have a great relationship with the city council. How do you guys all work together to what I'll call make exceptional stuff happen? I'm going to say stuff because we have school teachers here. Normally it's a different S word, but the MESH, make exceptional stuff happen. That those partnerships, again, this is a long-winded question, but those partnerships with the city, with the chambers of commerce, can you tell us a little bit about how you guys made that happen in Melissa?
One of the things that we also do is the Z-Plex was also a private partnership to public partnership, that we have two of our our fields that are in the Z-Plex that are actually Melissa IC, as well as some of the tennis courts that you mentioned. Those are Melissa ISDs, but we partner with the city that built some of the other facilities out there, if you've ever been to the Z-Plex. So that's one way that we do that. The other way is that we also get involved with making sure that we have a big CTE program, that we have businesses that come and they meet once a month here. They have lunch. They can get involved with helping some of our students with some of the industry things that they're interested in, giving them internships. So we also do that as well to get them involved. We have our Melissa Education Foundation, where the partners with our businesses that come in and partner with us with that to help support not only our students with scholarships, but they also help our staff with grants for their classrooms.
Brian, we're very purposeful with the relationship with our city council and our city and the Chamber of Commerce. That triad works together. We've had planning sessions together. We sit down and I just sit down and have conversations. I spend time with the mayor and the city manager. We spend time with Shannon Sweat, who runs the Chamber of Commerce. And again, we don't talk about what we don't want. We daydream a lot. We talk about all the possibilities, and we figure out who's got the talent to bring it and who's got the gifts to bring it. And then we work towards well-defined desired outcomes, but we share openly the needs of the city, and we're in transition. We're like a young middle school kid. We're a little bit awkward. We don't have the infrastructure ready. The schools aren't built. Finance is very difficult, but we have a vision for where we want to be, and we just understand it takes time and resources. But as long as we work together with consensus and we're open to discussion, then that's how we get it done.
I love that. And that is exactly how the great school districts are built. It's that partnership. It's that integration. Not everybody's going to have the same vision, but you don't get what you don't ask for. And the fact that you guys are all working together to make it happen in a growing environment, kudos to you, because that's the formula for success. And we've seen it across Collin County. So love that you shared that story. Debbie, I think you have another question.
Yeah, just to kind of even piggyback on that, because most of your students will definitely someday become business people. Either they will work for a company or their own or staff. So how do you ensure curriculums and programs reflect the skill that your local employers are looking for today and in the future? We can start with you and then we can.
So one of the things that we do with our huge partnership with our local businesses is the lunch that we have, where they get to come in and work with our CTE director that comes in. They really talk about what industry is looking for, and then they actually have them be able to, where they're able to come in and support them and have opportunities in their business where they can come in like for 2 weeks. This is what we're looking for, and really look at those skills. We are really focused on two. We just now opened a store called Red Nation, where they actually have a storefront. They get to design. They actually design a lot of our shirts for our convocation. They design a lot of our football playoff shirts. They design those. They get to sell those. They get to bill us, and just see the marketing piece of that. And so that is one thing that we give them hands-on, and then we ask our local businesses what is out there and how can they get involved. We have a lot of our students, I want to say almost 10, that actually work for Melissa now. They came back to teach. And so that's a huge thing for us. One of the girls in our communication department, we just celebrated her just earlier with the Difference Maker Award because she speaks Melissa. And one of the things that she says, she's been here K-12. And as she talks a lot about like when they hear like Melissa, she's not only lived it, she wants to come back and work here. And so she's a big spokesman. And I think that says a lot for our district, is that kids want to come back to Melissa and not only be part of what they were part of, but we can support them that way.
Brian, I want to piggyback on that and briefly. We don't look for sponsorships. We look for great partnerships. And, we need great companies, great businesses to work with our great school district. Not just everybody gets to come in and be a part of it. We've got to sit down and negotiate what that looks like. But we're not just after money here. We're after hearts. We're after truth. We invest in not just money. Our investment comes through investing in each other. And so, for example, if the Chamber of Commerce needs something, we want to serve them. Or if one of our businesses needs, we want to be able to find a way to fill the gap for them. And that's what partnerships are about, not just sponsorships.
That's awesome. I love that. What about you, Miss Winn? How do you ensure curriculum and programs reflect the skills that the local employers are looking for now and in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we have the same type of thing, the CTE program within our high school. We've actually had quite a few students come to shadow because they want to be teachers, which is kind of exciting. But I think the biggest thing in our elementary schools is we've started the PBL, like project-based learning. And so not only are they learning about solar energy, but they are building a house. They're having to use the scale, the budget, all of the things. So they're kind of doing all the jobs. And then they're able to present that. And so we actually had our fifth graders, I think it was about last month or just a few weeks ago, that had all of the other students come up to kind of view what they're doing and kind of learn about how they built their house within the scale and learned about all the different energy. So all the different aspects of that. So our project-based learning has been really helpful for not only weaving in technology and cross-curricular, but also building that kind of the jobs and talents of the students and being able to present all of that knowledge. We've actually partnered with it is New Tech Network, which is been really helpful for designing projects and making sure that it's TEAC aligned, but also has multiple aspects that they can be learning about that can set them up for the real world. And really awesome. Yeah, and promoting that student discourse too, because my husband actually used to work at Facebook, and him and I always joked about what do you look for in an employee, and a lot of the times it's not the amount of education, right? It's how can you collaborate, how can you present, how can you lead and empower others. It's all those softer skills that we're really trying to build within the curriculum. With that project-based learning.
Yeah, love that answer. And you're absolutely right. It's the soft skills that oftentimes, I sat through a discussion with the University of North Texas here in Frisco, a meeting with them, and that question was posed: what are some of the key gaps that employers are looking for from the students that are coming out of a university now, in today's age? The answer was they're all very tech savvy. They're all, they have all the hard skills, the book knowledge, all of that. But what's missing and what really propels a student above another is their mastery of the soft skills. It's exactly what you said, the presentation, everything else. So the fact that you're doing it at, you're instituting that at a younger age, so it's already, they're up the learning curve by the time they get to a university level. That's great to hear. And I'm sure, from the public school district aspect, I'm sure that's the same thing you get. And the CTE, I love that. I love the CTE centers across Collin County. A great way for business owners and entrepreneurs to get involved. There's incubator programs. There's all kinds of great things that are going on across Collin County that you as a business owner or entrepreneur can get involved in. What I do want to do now, it's amazing how quickly an hour flies by. Here we are, and we've got just a few minutes left in the show. So number one, I want to thank you guys for your time today. Thank you for all your insights and messages. Thank you for all you do for the communities. Couple key themes that I've heard throughout our discussion today. The first one that came across really clearly is the word passion. You guys are all passionate about what you do, why you do it, and the reasons for what you're doing. I love it. I heard at the end of the day, you want to see smiles on kids' faces. I love that comment. The word community came out. What you guys are, your example, right? You built a football stadium. Obviously, the impact of that is great for the sports arena, but the sense of community that builds in Melissa, along with all the other things that you guys are doing in the community. So community is another one. Partnership is another one I heard. So not just sponsorship, right? Sponsorships obviously supplement any sort of tax funding shortfalls, but it's a long-term relationship. It's not just the sponsorship. It's not about money. It's about the partnership aspect. And then finally, the word teamwork. I heard that come through loud and clear in Melissa. The teamwork that you guys show with city council, with city managers, with Chamber of Commerce. Ironically, all of those parties that we've had through the BDA, this is a great example of how all of those things weave together to make the school district successful, to make a community successful, throw in law enforcement and safety. All of those things are what drive our communities. And those are the relationships that we're building and trying to enhance and put the spotlight on through this show. So that puts a nice little bow on everything that we've done all year long. So, excuse me. So thank you for teasing that out, Melissa, the Melissa community. So with that, what I want to do is just circle back. I want you guys to just remind the audience who you are, what you do, what community you're in, and then what is the best way to get in touch with you if a business owner or entrepreneur wants to help that, help your community and help your school district. So let's start with the Melissa team. So go ahead, Kim.
Okay, I'm Kim Boderker. I'm the deputy superintendent here in Melissa. I've been here for 21 years. And so it is a community. If you want to get involved, our best way is to reach out to our communications department on our website. We have a huge, even an area, if you want to advertise, hey, on Mondays, we give this discount for teachers, or on Tuesday. So we have a huge hub there. And so she has there's an opportunity, and we actually send that out once a week to our staff. That includes, it's called like Birdie. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a way to get involved. The community can get involved. If you have a business and you would like to support teachers or anything for education for our students, I would reach out to our communications department.
All right. Thank you so much. Mrs. Winn.
All right. My name is Mrs. Winn, or Brittany Winn. I'm the assistant principal here at Majestic Gardens Leadership Prep School. My email is right there, bwin@lpsfrisco.com if you want to get a hold of me directly, especially for Majestic Gardens. But if you are looking for something for one of the other schools or even the secondary campus, if you go to our website, lpsfrisco.com, everyone is on there. The directory for like the superintendent or any of the principals, anything like that. So if you want to get a hold of us, just go to lpsfrisco.com and our website.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining today and shedding a little bit of light about, we all know the school districts are super important to our community, but I love the fact that we dove deeper into that today. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. Co-hosts Debbie and Kim, thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. It's been another fun ride. Look forward to many more. And with that, have a great rest of the week. Support your school districts, and we'll see you at the BDA next Wednesday, the 17th, at the NAC Theater at 11:30 a.m. With that, take care all. Bye-bye.
The Community Difference, Collin County was made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners, Debbie Watson with Abracadoodle, Kim Wallace with Farmers Insurance, Clarence Joreff with the Compound Nevada, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference.